Empty Nesters. I'm Jill Whelan.
And I'm Leah Mangum.
And I am beyond thrilled because I'm so excited. This is one of my besties, high school pals, almost middle school too? No,
I think
high school.
Just high school.
Just high school. Bellina Logan, an incredibly talented actress who has a show right now that she's been doing for a few years. She's written it. It's a one-woman show. It's called Confessions of a Mulatto Love Child. And it is so good. And it was hosted by, some slackers, Laura Dern and Isabella Rossellini. Bellina and I went to school with Laura Dern, and you two are besties as well.
Yes.
So I'm so excited you're here.
I'm excited.
Okay, so you are in the same position that we are, in that you're also an empty nester. You have a beautiful daughter named Lola.
Lola, yes.
Who is a junior in college.
She's just finishing up her junior year.
Is she coming home for the summer?
No, that's the first. Well, she might towards the end of the summer. This is like a first for us, sort of. She is going to go to New York and do some internship, and she's going to be there from the time school ends. So she's not even going to come home, which is I'm having a moment.
Yeah.
And she's not going to come home. She's going to go right from it's June all the way through the middle or to the end of July before we know that she'll come here.
Right.
But she's turning 21 there. And I grew a girl, and I want to go there for her birthday.
You need to.
I'm not going to not be there for her birthday.
Have to.
And I told that to my husband Ben, and I said, I don't care if we have to sell, my ovaries that nobody wants. I'm going.
Do you still have any?
I just barely hanging on some side little side angle on a ledge.
My eggs all have walkers.
Oh, do they? That's fine. That's all
They're
right.
just screaming for help.
Yeah. So that's a first for us. She went away on a year like a summer abroad thing last year, but she came home first. So we had her for about a month, and then she went away, and then she came back. This is like she's going, and she'll be there. And
Is she in the industry? Is she doing internship?
Yeah, she's gonna, she'll be doing an internship, and she got a grant from the school to subsidize her ability to be away.
Is it acting? Is she acting?
No, I mean she'll do some auditioning while she's there because she's a theater major. But no, she's also like looking for nannying jobs and all the rest of it. And the only thing we told her was, we love you dearly, but we cannot pay for you to stay in an apartment. So she just so happened, my friend was like, oh well, I'm going away for 6 weeks. And she cats it. I was like, oh, okay. My husband was like, damn it.
I know.
This is the way to get her to come home. No. So she's gonna be cat sitting and being there, and she's so excited. And so, there's that part of me that like I just desperately want her home, but I also know like this is the time. This is for her to do this.
Especially in this industry. This is definitely the time.
Yeah. Tell me though, I want to know about, because I know, but I want everybody else to know about. You tell me. Yeah. About when you sent her to school, that whole odyssey.
Well, first of all, you're from the moment they go through their prom, and Lola was also part of all of the kids who were dealing with COVID. So she'd spent an entire senior year in her room. Then there was the wonderful moment that we were told that she was going to have her graduation, and they were going to be able to have their graduation outside and at least have a graduation.
Right.
So you're going through those milestones in your life, and you're experiencing it. I have a graduation, and then we have a summer, and then I know when she's going to leave, and all of these different things are coming, but because you know that they're coming and you still have them, you busy yourself with all the things you got to get for the room. Finding out who the roommate's going to be. Like, you make yourself busy with things.
I'm there right now.
Maps. I'm making maps of college
the whole
right
thing.
now.
That actually helped me.
Yeah.
Because it gave me something to do and be a part of it, and also I was in denial.
Yeah.
Because she was here. We went shopping at Bed Bath & Beyond and got the sheets. So we did the thing, but she was with me. But it's all leading up to this dramatic Reds moment with Warren Beatty and Diane Keaton, this whole thing where you're going to say goodbye to them. And my husband and I, we brought her there where she's going. She was going to Chicago, And just every step of the way, we got into the hotel room. We were all sleeping in the hotel room, which had bed bugs, by the way.
Oh, no.
That was really fun.
Nice.
Yes. So I'm having an emotional breakdown while I'm like sleeping on the left side of my breast.
Well, at least it gives you something to do.
It did give me something to do, something else to focus on. But then it's like in Northwest, the school that she goes to has like all of these like preparing the parents to say goodbye things. It's all this big lead up of just knowing that you're going to feel an emptiness.
Mm-hmm.
And you do, I mean, we did.
Yeah.
The excitement of my child going off and doing something, but also for us, it was also mixed with, she was getting really homesick right before she was going to say goodbye to us. She was feeling,
oh my God.
and that really messed with me.
Oh,
That was
yeah,
hard
yeah.
because you had the kids who were like, yeah, bye mom, see ya.
Yeah.
But you also had this one who was excited to go away. She wasn't like, it wasn't like she wasn't ready.
Right.
But she had feelings, and she'd been locked up in her room for a whole year in COVID. So who did she become closest to? Us.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
So, and the way this school did it, every day there was a certain thing that the parents could be a part of, and then they have a whole thing called like kiss them goodbye.
But she already was homesick.
She was
before.
already
Yeah.
feeling it. Like
Yeah.
she was like, I don't want to be like, and then literally, as opposed to her roommate who was like, woo, here we are, let's decorate the wall, let's do this, da 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 ba ba ba. With Lola sitting on the bed, just looking at us, like that kitten in, Shrek with like the big eyes. That was not easy because we just thought, we needed her in a weird way to kind of be like bye-bye so that we could just have this. But then when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, I'm sorry. And she just literally said like, don't go. That was,
I'm getting
It
chills.
was like writing a note as you were
So
leaving.
did you, as the parent, say, okay, I gotta play the other role? Go.
well, and because of this kiss and goodbye thing that they was fanfare and they have like a marching band and there's like, Northwestern's a huge school with all of the, like all these people in purple and there's like a whole big garden and I mean, the parents are all sort of waving to their kids as they're walking by from different departments. And Lola was just walking by us, and then she's part of this purple haze. And I get a call from what was like I guess they're the student TA or whatever, saying, oh, hi, are you Loveboat Day's parents?
Oh, no.
We were like, what's happened? It's only been we've been here for a day. They were like, oh, she's been stung by a bee in her neck.
Oh, gosh.
And I looked at Ben.
You're like, it's a sign. It's a sign.
It's a sign.
Well, this is what we were worried about. I mean, apart from that, we're worried.
Right.
But also we were like, she's going to take this as a sign.
Yeah.
She's going to take this as a sign. This is going to be even harder.
Yeah.
And she kind of did. We got there. She was being very emotional. She had been stung in the neck. She does not have a horrific bee allergy, but they wanted to make sure everybody was being good. Everybody did what they were supposed to do. But we took her to the infirmary. They gave her some medication. And now we had to do this long walk back to her room. All of the things now were going to happen that you'll experience. They had the orientation. Like there was all these things that she had to go on to do. And both Ben and I were walking behind her. And he said, and we're both already so upset anyway. And he goes, she's got to go to that orientation. Like she's just got to go.
Yeah.
And she was not happy. Like we could feel that. We got her up to that room, and that I have a picture of it. I mean, we hugged her. It was all the things that you think it's going to be, and then we just said, goodbye, because we knew that she was going to go off to do these things this evening, and it was just like the silhouette of this lone child sitting on her bed in her room, and we closed the door. Needless to say, there was a very nice bottle of vodka in our
You drink and scratch at the same time.
I'm literally getting teary-eyed right now.
Sat and watched some like crappy television show because we were in a town we don't know.
Yeah.
We know that our kid is not loved. Like this was a hard goodbye, and she's off doing her thing.
And she's so close, but yet not.
Yeah.
Like she's right there.
You know she's right there. We could, but we didn't. And she's, to her credit, she sucked it up, and went on to do the orientation. And she, of course, this is the nice thing, she texted us the next day. I mean, she texted us that night saying, I love you guys. This was fine. I did this. I did that. Not I love it. Not I'm having a great time. But just I did it and it's fine and whatever. And then the next morning as we're getting ready for the cab or the lift to come and get us, she texted us again saying, I love you so much. I wish I could be in your suitcases going back.
Oh my word.
Turn the plane around.
We're horrible parents.
I know, that was all. But, what we were supposed to do, we also had, and you will, we had other parents who were all saying goodbye or had just done it. Lola's school started later than other schools. So we were in a part of a community of people where I could check back.
Yeah.
And I had the friends who were like, God, my son couldn't get rid of us fast enough. We also had other people who were like, I feel sad, but when we got on that plane and we were both very quiet with each other, I felt very fortunate to have, a partner. I also know some of my friends who are single moms or single dads didn't have that comfort, and I can totally understand what that would have
that comparison.
Right.
Let me ask you a question. When Lola was going to, the first time she went to preschool, for example, was it the same?
Yeah.
So,
This is something we know about.
Okay.
She was never a kid who loved goodbyes. By the way, also the typical child that the teacher would say, you do understand that once you're gone and the crying hysterics, once you're out of view, they're fine.
Yeah.
Like that was Lola.
Yeah.
Right? She did that a little. She did have a problem with goodbyes. And certainly those days at preschool, we'd have a kissing window. The parents come up and kiss the kid at the window, and Lola.
And then you went looking for a wine window.
I went looking for a little champagne and orange juice. But because it would be with Lola, it would be like, bye mom, all these other kids like, bye, and Lola would be like, what?
That's how great it was. He got himself so upset that he ended up, I would drive him to the school, and it progressed to the point where the minute I would open the car door, he would just throw up.
Oh my gosh.
So the teachers made a joke one day, and they came to the car to pick him up wearing a meat packing apron.
Oh no! But I have to say the other side of that. My kids are like, bye mom, and I'm like, what did I do? I'm a horrible parent. My kid can't wait to get rid of me. So you can't win.
You can't win. I have three of my girlfriends after with Lola, with this thing going on at school, they were like, I wish my son would have done a little of that, just make me feel. And I just think everybody's got their own levels. They've got their own, and kids also go through their different things. Like some of my Lola's friends were so happy and fine those first few months of school. But then they had a harder time in their sophomore year. They kind of were trying to figure out some stuff, or in their second semester. And it's not easy. But that moment when you come home with your mate, or for me it was Ben. We walked into that apartment. It was also just this feeling of walking into that apartment and seeing that bedroom, and knowing, another girlfriend was like, God, it's like a death, but not in that. I would never want to, insult anybody who's also gone through something like that.
It's a death of a season.
It's a death of a chapter. It's the end of a chapter.
Yes.
You're starting a new one, and when you walk in, you see that bedroom. She wrote this beautiful. We were both so down, and also we're just the three of us in an apartment. It's not, and. We'd gone through COVID, so we didn't have that senior year of I never see my kid because they're out doing whatever. She was with us all the time, so we had our withdrawal. And then in our bedroom, in her room, she had on her stuffed animals that she didn't take. I felt sorry for them. I started having therapy sessions with the bear.
Very Toy Story.
I was like, don't feel bad. She loves you. Yes, the turtle got the lotto. But she left us a little note, and with a picture of the three of us when she was a baby, and she just said, I love you. And then the funny thing, she was like, be good to each other, you're both right.
Oh my gosh, she's so kind.
Because she would hear our arguments,
Oh my gosh.
And that was, I think, also something that made me feel also like she's going to be okay. Well, we're going to be okay.
Right.
She's going to be okay, and this is just going to be what it is this year. And it wasn't. Some of it was hard, some of it was great. When they come home, oh my God, they come home for visits.
What can I make you?
What can I do?
No. Want to go get manicures?
Yeah, I want to do that. The first time she came back at Thanksgiving, I don't know, for whatever reason, and she's an independent gal, but she was like, Mom, I was like, what, sleeping? She's like, I can't sleep, can I just get into bed with you? Or can you come into my bedroom with me? I literally broke my ankle running to get into that bed to have a cuddle. I couldn't wait. Because I also know that those things are not going to always happen.
Yeah.
So take it while you can get it.
Absolutely.
So I talked about breastfeeding. I was like, everybody was like, how long are you going to do that? I was like, listen, she won't be at college when she's doing it. But if she wants to be, maybe. I've lost a lot of weight breastfeeding.
It's so funny. My son asks me to go somewhere. I could be like cleaning the floors. He's like, do you want to go get a hot dog? I'm like, yes. I'm like, give me 5 minutes. I put on a full face of makeup.
Yes.
I am not showered. I put clothes on. I'm like, I'm going to look good if I'm going out. So then he asks me more often. I got to smell good too. So like, it's terrible. But my husband's like, what? What are you running around? I'm, Jonathan, I can't go out with you now. I'm sorry. I have plans.
Oh, she's broken a few lunch dates.
I have.
Yeah, for that reason.
For these kids and husbands were like, it's okay. That's about the only thing we can break up our lunches.
Exactly.
Yeah. So. Yeah, he's calling. Hold on.
Yeah, oh no, that. Or people are like, what are you doing next week? I was like, well, Lola's home that week. Right. Do you want to get together? I was like, well, Lola's home that week. I want to be available for every single minute.
That may have happened between you and I.
I think so. Probably like, she's
Selena,
home.
do you want to go for a walk? Oh, I can't.
Lola's home.
It's happened with Kathy.
Yeah.
Producer Kathy.
Yeah, the same thing. We know it's radio silence.
And when we were,
when her daughter's home from school, as it should be. And
That's
that's
true.
exactly the way it
I
should
mean, I was rushing to get out the door, and she walked into my room and said, "Can you fill up my water bottle?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I dropped everything, went back, filled up the water bottle, took it back to her bedroom, and then got my stuff.
of course.
Yeah.
That's what we do. I'll be very interested to see how this works with Grant, because I don't think he's going to be the kid who's crying like he did in preschool.
Right.
Oh my gosh, my son's already like, I can't wait. He's like got his stuff packed next to his door. He's like ready to go.
I know, and he didn't want to for a little bit, but
He
then
didn't, because also another COVID kid. But
but he got on that train and
so
he's
ready to go. Yeah. He
which I
wants
think
to-
is
it's good.
That's what we
good.
want.
You know, I mean, ultimately it is, that's what Ben and I were saying to each other. Ben was an Army brat, you know, he moved everywhere for every 3 years, and so when he went off to school, he was 17, went off to New York, and his mom was petrified, you know, just to be in the city and all of that. And I lived in New York, so when I went to school in New York, it was just across town.
Yeah.
But there was a sense of just needing to learn how to. Lola said it the best. Like once she'd been at school for many months, and she had to take care of something at AT&T that like, I couldn't do for her, and I wasn't going to. She had to do it. And when it was over, she was like, "Mom, adulting is so hard." And I was like, "Yeah, it's hard in your frufries."
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
So what do you think? Yeah, it's hard. And
Right.
I was like, but you know what? If she doesn't learn how to do this, like what I want to make sure of, even if it's so hard to say goodbye to them when they come and visit and you have to drop them off at the airport, is that's always going to be hard. I was in my 40s. My mother would put me in a cab at the corner and take the driver, you know,
My
the
mother
driver's
too.
license number.
Yeah.
And she said to me, "You're never going to stop worrying.
Yeah.
This is going to go on forever."
For life.
But what my mom made sure that I knew how to do was take care of myself
Right.
and know how to be on my own, know how to function with new friends or ones I don't like, or how to function with ones that you like, some you don't, how to be here, how do you deal with the money that you spend in a month, and then all of that stuff. Like, what am I gonna not let her do any of that stuff? No. Going to New York this summer, I mean, you know, there's this part of me, like, of course I know she needs to do it, and I'm gonna worry, I'm gonna do all
You'll
of that.
go visit her. You can go visit her.
But also, she needs to, like, I would hate if I left this earth that she didn't know how to function.
Oh my God,
Yes, for sure.
Right, and to have those halcyon days that she's going to have, because between all of us, this is not really adulting.
No, it really
Yes,
isn't.
I know.
That the
Exactly.
crap hits the
Because I
fan.
still get the phone bill.
Yes, exactly.
No, and the tuition and
That's right.
The tuition.
Yeah, we went to New York and our son Chase, we went to see a show that his dad was in, and so we left early and he wanted to see a friend that was at NYU, so we're like, great, go ahead. And so my husband's like, take the train home. He just looked at us, just completely, you know, he drives everywhere here. At the time we were driving him. So we see him, I'm at the hotel waiting for him to come back. I see him get on a train going the complete opposite direction of where we are.
Yeah.
So I'm holding on to my husband's hand, like, should I call him? Nope, let him go. And then I see it go this way. And then I see him go this way. But when he got home, he was like white as a ghost, but so happy. He couldn't wait to tell us his adventure on the subway.
Yeah.
And it took him much too long to get home, but he did.
But he figured it
He
out.
did.
But
Yeah,
you
he
figured it out,
figured it
right?
out.
They're gonna have to figure it out.
Yeah.
They
I had
have
to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
some of the things that I had to figure out, I could only figure out, even though my mother had said to me so many times, this, that, and the other. And those are the moments that I have to remind myself, and Ben and I try to do that with some of the things. And also, she still wants to talk to us. You know,
Right.
she still wants to confer or find out something from us. But I have noticed as the years have gone on, there are more and more times, like she used to talk to us every night, and I know that was not something that everybody experienced, their kid, but she doesn't do it every night now.
Right.
She's got friends, and you know, it's like a weird kind of like, you just have to get used to that little, it's a different chapter.
Yeah.
And it'll be a different chapter when they are quote unquote on their own.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how far they're really on their own. When they're fully on their own is when
Right.
they are fully paying every single bill.
Exactly
Yeah.
it.
Exactly. Well, I have one that's
Car
there.
insurance,
Right.
medical
Yeah, how
insurance.
does that feel?
I have. Well,
What's that like?
You know what? It's. I'm having a really hard time with it because he has a girlfriend and they have their own life, and you know, I would like to see them more,
Mhm.
and I don't. So it's constant. Hey guys, want to come over? What would you like? I'll make you whatever. You know, and they can't, or I'll text him and he doesn't maybe respond until the next day.
He's working on the show with us now, just so you
He's
know.
so
So
great.
he's back in our
Right. Well, this is what we do. It's a
Listen to
manipulation.
your mother.
Anything we can do.
It's
Yes.
manipulation.
Yeah,
yeah.
we're like, can Harrison help us with this project?
That's right. But so, speaking of adulting, you are adulting now without your child.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how has that transition been for you?
I was a little up and down. I think it also is happening at the same time as my body has decided to change. And my state of mind. So I have, and you know, like I'm shifting
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
And so there's a sense of purpose that I had and always will have as a mother to Lola, but I also need to kind of also start putting it back into myself.
This is precisely
Right,
why
Yeah,
we're
that's
doing
what we're
this.
going through right
Right.
now. That's why we're doing this.
So you know, and I think that was one of the things that helped me in the last few months when I was trying to deal with the fact that, again, bringing up Lola going to New York for
Right.
the summer.
Right.
I was like, well, Bellina, you have a show you wanting to do again, right? You have your body that you're trying to make friends with again and lose a little weight here or just get healthy. Like,
Right.
you have a lane you need to maybe be in for
Right.
yourself.
Right.
And if not now, when?
Yeah.
Because she's doing her thing and like you need to kind of turn it back on yourself for a little bit
Yeah.
because you know that feeling
Is this
of
one of the conversations you're having with the teddy bear?
Yes.
I mean, it's
Yes.
cheaper.
It is cheaper,
Yeah.
and every once in a while I pour it a little bit of its own vodka. I'm sounding like an extraordinary boozer.
Oh,
But it's
no more
happens.
extraordinary than me, darling.
But yeah, no,
This is water pipe.
this is
Yes,
water.
it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
I'm very happy to have
Unfortunately.
it. No, I'm very happy. But I think that was, both Ben and I were not, we have a solid relationship, we love each other very much, but there was also this part of spending 18 years with this other entity around us all the time that we put so much into. When she left, we also had to kind of get back to knowing each other again.
Right.
Yeah.
And how was
Yeah.
that? Were there bumps and hiccups?
There were bumps
or-
and hiccups because we were actually pleasantly surprised how quickly we found that we liked each other's company.
Mhm.
Like, oh,
Right.
this isn't as scary as I thought it might be.
Right.
I do have something to talk about. We do want to sit and watch this show together and take this walk together. But yeah, there were also moments when we were both be competitive. We still are a little bit sometimes, like when Lola calls.
Yes.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
She put you on speakerphone. She put her on speakerphone. She doesn't have to just talk to you. Like,
What did she say to you? That's what
this
we do
weird
in our
thing,
house.
and then I'd be like, Lena, like, you guys need to chill. Like, stop it. Like, it just took us a while to kind of realize that this, because she's still there with us, hovering around. And sometimes we actually would pull it in there to put in between us because we would need to have that buffer. And then sometimes we'd be like, we're not looking after her right now. So now we just need to deal with each other.
Right.
And I'd say, we should go out to dinner more often, or if we can't afford to do that, let's watch a few things. And so we kind of found this little groove with each other, but it took us a bit to just get used to it. And now I really appreciate it. Like we like it. Because now when we go and see Lola or when we talk to Lola, it's like an added thing, not this thing that we have to have because we don't know what else to do.
It wasn't your connection.
Right. But it took for about as long as it took Lola in our first, for all of us to get used to her being gone. It took Ben and it just took us that same amount of time to be like, oh, okay. And how about this? Why don't you go to the gym and do that because that's what you wanted to do. I'm gonna go and do this thing.
Right.
Like we also don't have to do everything together.
Correct.
Yeah.
What we need is to fulfill ourselves and then come to the table feeling good about ourselves.
Right.
Put the oxygen mask on ourselves.
Yes.
And then we can kind of look out for each other. And that's what we've been trying to do for the last 2 years. And sometimes it's an epic fail, and sometimes it is absolutely lovely. We had just celebrated our 23rd wedding anniversary the other day.
We're 22 and 23 as well.
There you go.
Yes.
And it was just nice. It was lovely because I felt like we were two grown-ups with each other.
Well, and you're both, your career is blossoming again because now you can
Incredible,
take the
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
You're in Palm Royale.
Yes,
You were
very
in
fortunate.
Sons of Anarchy. I love you.
Oh, yes.
Anarchy, huge fan.
Sons of Anarchy was a great great experience, but it was also came at a time when I was looking after my mother. So I was in the sandwich generation of looking after my mother who was ill with Alzheimer's, and my daughter who was very young, and that I hadn't worked in so long, and that was a job where I was like, thank you so much for giving me a job that I can actually do while I'm trying to take care of these two people that needed me in those ways, and a husband. That job was amazing. I just felt so blessed.
That's great.
To have that.
Okay, most proud parent moment.
Well, apart from the fact that in the last year and a half, Ben and I have had the great joy of watching our daughter become the artist that she is, and exhale, because I'm an actor, he's an actor, and to see her perform the way she has done as an artist and have it be wonderful, just that moment of like, yeah, you're good. You're really good. And we
Just
didn't.
imagine how terrible it would be
Well,
if she
just
wasn't.
that feeling of like, oh, okay.
Well, she would be going to college for it if she would.
Right,
So when I get into that school, yeah.
But that feeling, and I don't think that we had nothing to do with that as parents. It was just a proud moment to see something beautiful come out of your kid, like just
Success.
Yeah.
But in terms of just parenting, all I can say is Lola is she's very thoughtful, and she's a very kind person with her friends and with other people. I know that when she sacrificed time with me, or I sacrificed time with her a lot when I was looking after my mom in the end stages of my mother's life. It was very, very difficult. Lola had to kind of share me with my mother, who was not well, and my husband had to share me, and I just remember feeling like, oh my God, I suck, because I can't manage my time always, but there is a caring, as an empathy, there's a caring that she has that I think she watched me do, but also and my husband do, but I think she has it towards her friends. She listens so beautifully to her friends. Her friends, she has such gorgeous friendships but also she's learning how to take care of herself. I remember with social media, once on Instagram, she just said, hi guys, I'm taking a break because I just need to have a little bit of a break, so you won't hear from me for a while. And I said, why are you doing that? And I was glorified. And she said, because I needed to take a break. It was getting too much and I needed to take care of myself. And that made me feel really good, because I was like, I don't know if Ben and I did that, or if we contributed to her turning around every once in a while and checking yourself.
Right.
But if we did have anything to do with that, thank you. Because I hope that she can take that with her. That moment of being able to just take a breath and check on yourself.
It's self-care.
And I was so proud of her, because I just was like, I was emotional about it, because I was like, God, if I wasn't here, I know that there's maybe a part of her that could take care of herself.
Yeah.
Right.
So that was
That's
a moment.
Yeah.
Those were moments. But I'm just very proud of her work ethic, and she certainly is good at math, and I don't think she got that from me.
I can guarantee that none of our children got our back from us.
Yeah.
Okay, worst epic fail parent moment.
Well, there's two. One is just this little thing, but two actually.
Only two?
There are so many. But they
One
come in
each
my
week.
mind. There's two that come in my mind where I'm like, oh my god, I suck. Which was one, just I remember we were rushing to get to her school, to her preschool, rushing, getting her out of the car seat, and putting her in this, and I would slam the door on her little hand.
Oh.
Now, to be fair, I didn't break anything, but there was like a little dent like in her foot and hand, and when I looked at her, the two of us had a moment. Hers was, like Jedi's, like a shark's eye. She just looked at me like, you just did that. I mean, she was barely able to speak because she was like 4. And I had that moment of, I just did that. I just maimed you. I just maimed you? Yeah, I just maimed you.
Oh, no.
And there was nowhere I could look except for at myself of like, you awful mom. And I remembered like getting her hand out. It was fine. It was just a little dent, but she still has it. So when I see that, I'm like, oh my God. But also, she loves to remind me about this. Again, rushing. This was like a whole thing. I was totally not in my body. It was when I was also looking after my mom, not really trying to give that as an excuse, but it was also how I was so just not sent, like, Bellina, take a minute and breathe.
Right.
Pulling her out of the car seat in our garage, pulling out of the car, pulling her out of the car seat, and placing her on the back steps of our back apartment, and then getting in the car and then driving away. And I'd like to say that I noticed it right away, but I did not notice it until I was a good few minutes down, like on Beverly Boulevard, going towards Cedar Sinai. I got a call, and it was that moment. You have that moment where as the phone call was coming in, it was my husband. The phone rang, and I looked in the rearview mirror. There was no child in the car seat, so it was in that moment where I was like, oh my God, my child. Oh my God, you've left your child. Oh my God, that's your husband. And sure enough, it was Ben. He was like, did you forget something? And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I was like, is she okay? Then I was like, he was like, she's fine. I was like, how did you find her? He was like, because she was walking in the alleyway of our apartment going, hola, hola. She's 3. Do you understand? Like, that one she seems to remember. So I was just like, oh my God, I left my child.
But you know what the best part is? You didn't leave her on the roof of your car.
There you go.
See? So
there.
Thank you so much, Jill. Yeah. And then I did tell you later, I made the huge mistake of thinking that she was ready to watch Saturday Night Fever at the age of like 14, when maybe not, because she was like, oh yeah, Mom, far from the fact that this movie is so dated.
Right.
There's a lot of things going on. I was like, but then
My mom took me to the same movie because she thought it was a dance movie.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's very
So that's all right. She'll be fine. I believe.
you're fine.
I mean, I think it might be a scary moment for you.
Yeah, it's.
Oh.
So I'm sure I got plenty more, but those are the ones that come to mind when I'm like, but the leaving her.
Yeah.
Leaving her, that one isn't really.
That's
down.
they made a whole movie about that.
They
Called, what's it called?
Home. The
Yes.
one that I remember, which is terrible, my son Austin had this big box. We just bought something for their room, and I saw him at the top of the stairs with the box. He was 3, he was gonna get in it. How cool to like go in a box and go down the stairs. How creative. I should have realized that doesn't happen. Like, you can't physically do that. So as he starts going in, I see it go boom, 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 as he starts rolling out of the box. I'm like, I'm the worst parents ever, but every cartoon the kid makes it time.
Yes.
Like, seriously, why did I
What's
think
up with that?
That was
I'm like,
Leah's
look at how
moment.
brilliant my kid is. No, he's not.
That's the moment you realized you can't emulate cartoons.
You
in
cannot.
parenting.
No,
You cannot.
It's not.
No.
Baby Huey, it was great. No,
Oh
not
my
Baby
God.
Austin.
This has been so much fun. One last question, and then I
Yes.
promise I'll let you go. Golden nugget advice for
Empty nesters.
empty nesters, lessons learned.
They come home.
Oh,
They do.
Thank you for that. Yeah.
They do. They come
Yeah.
home.
Yeah,
Sweet.
they do.
And that was one of the nice things that I still am enjoying those moments.
Yeah.
And yeah, they come home.
No,
Oh.
thank you.
The perfect way to end it.
That
This was like so much fun.
Yes,
Actually,
the
the
best
best
time.
Aw.
Yeah, we're fans.
We are.
We are, and here's your new family.
There
Yes,
you go.
we're now, because
One thing I realized,
Yeah.
talking to my husband that same moment, we need more friends. So we need more couples. No, I'm not
Well,
kidding.
I'm happy to
Come join us.
Yes.
Let's do a little dinner. But we need
Yes.
more couple friends. Like that's what
Yes,
I realized.
that is true. I will
Isn't that
say,
funny?
I mean, whether this, it
Yeah.
has been so lovely being able to find our fellow friends
Yeah.
who are also going through it.
Yeah.
Great to see friends who are maybe not yet there or
Sure.
have gone through it, but the ones who are really going through it at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Go and have those dinners,
Nice.
cup of coffees. Find your community of
Yeah.
of people, and even if it's a phone call because your friend lives somewhere else and they're going through it, it does help.
Right.
It
And
absolutely
it doesn't
does.
matter if your kids are friends. Like I feel like
That
there's
doesn't
a
matter.
point that
No,
it
not
is
at this
that's
point.
all
No.
that matters,
No,
right?
that doesn't matter.
But
Because
now-
you're still going
now
through
it's
the same
about us.
things. And I found it was really helpful helping friends
Mhm.
who the next year were going through it or
Yeah.
the year after that, like what to
Yeah.
get on Amazon. It gave me
Absolutely.
something, it made me happy. I mean, it was
Yeah.
like, yeah, don't get that coat,
Right.
get that one, and
Right.
you'll never need that humidifier, all of that stuff.
Yeah. You do all that work and now
Yeah.
you can put it to use.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Well,
Wonderful.
thank you.
Thank
for
you.
joining
Thank you
us.
for having me.
Thank you so much.
Okay, guys, thanks.
Thank
Next
you.
time.
Bye.
And